Try to press it.
No, just press video.
I get it.
Video it. Video it.
A video now.
Come on. He actually got zapped and turned around. I heard it. And he's actually not doing very well at all. Haven't gotten zapped. He got zapped and he just turned around. And that was the end of that. He's not going back to it.
Look, he's grabbing onto this stuff.
No, he's trying to sting man. What are you doing stinging man? That's what he's doing. He's trying to sting.
Hold on.
You got it? Good. Come here. This is excellent.
No, he's not dying. He gets zapped and he didn't die.
No, but he's not coming. Oops. I'm trying to make sure. Come here. Don't go there. Nobody asked you to go there. Come here. Mosi. Excellent. I hope he can't survive going through. He died.
He's still like this a little bit.
So that was the front part where we saw a centipede that was actually in the house, pushed a little to get in, and he was zapped and the thing worked. So let me get to the more boring part, which is the full presentation that was given to NIHERST in 2015 as it shows scientific ingenuity competition. So let's start with the problem definition. In rural areas where you have a lot of wildlife, you have arthropods, large insects, cockroaches, scorpions, centipedes crawling under a door, and they come in from under the door. And basically that is what this was based upon, trying to stop that situation. The proposed solution is the zapping device, and what it's done, it's stuck at the side of the door. It's stuck in front of the door actually, but on the side that does not open, not the swinging side of the door. Door swings open and this does not go on that side, so it does not impede that. The intention is that it's sticky enough so that it stops. It blocks, jams straight against the door, and it blocks anything from going above and going down. So basically an insect is really forced to go through the space, and that's the natural tendency anyway, because they're accustomed going in crevices and small cracks. The side with the hump that goes against the door frame side that has the hinges, therefore it's out of the path where you walk, and it's very nearly impossible to bounce it. The design criteria was something that's simple to install. It must be rechargeable because no one wants to buy batteries all the time. It must be safe for pets and humans, and so basically you should not be able to touch the elements that have the high voltage. Right, I went through in a bit detail. You could pause this and read that. It's a bit much to get into, so I'm not going to get into it. I just basically, you want to have something where you could recharge it and it works zapping insects. The brief technical details: it was charging at 120 volts. It's a simple inverter circuit. The strip length was matching a door, which is a 32-inch doorway, which is what I had available and what I built it for. And the strip that I chose was 65 millimeters, but that could choose to match aluminum frame, wooden frame, whatever it might be. And the spacing was 7 millimeters for the prototype and 15 millimeters for the entire thing, thickness as the spacing. And this was again just a prototype, just to prove that it does work, and as you saw in the video, it does. The pros: it's easy to install, it gives you the peace of mind that you'll get arthropods in your home. It's safer than a toxicological approach, sprays and baits. You have small children, you have other things. This is pets. Bait sprays are a problem. Sprays are always a problem regardless of what the they're dangerous. At the end of the day, they're dangerous, right? Sprays aren't meant to be nice. The cons of this is it requires frequent charging because the battery is relatively small, and at the end of the day, it does require a certain amount of energy to continue producing that high voltage oscillation, and it does die out very fast. Again, that's not a big deal to fix. That was a small lead acid battery inside there. We do some 18650s, a little small battery pack. We get a good couple days out of this, right? And no protection if it discharges, so you need a small indicator light, something very small milliamperes, just to show that it's working. It's possible to get shocked if you really throw water, like you're mopping. It's really difficult to get shocked, right? To be honest, you need to touch both of them. You have to push something really small in, and this is not going to kill you. This is a high voltage. It's going to zap you, but it won't kill. It wouldn't definitely not kill. It will just, it's not something you'll do again, but it won't kill you. In terms of the prior art of this, and this is something you do when you design anything, you look for prior art and prior work that was done. At the time of the submission of this, nothing was done. In fact, about a year later, I checked and nothing was still on the market as similar to this. The zappers themselves are ubiquitous. They exist all over the place. In this form factor, specifically to plug these bugs from coming into your house, right? And the bugs came in my house. That's why I did this. In fact, as I said, that was found in the house. He just happened to show up at the time when I really needed to test this. So yeah. Possible improvements to this device, and again, something you should always consider when you're designing something. Sensors to detect when the insect is there, and then just come on at that time. That said, you maybe end up using the same amount of energy sensing, right? I'm trying to switch off from continuous discharge, but you're probably going to end up using almost the same amount of energy trying to do that. Alert when the battery is low, or maybe just LED, but that will consume power. Maybe an alert when the battery low, but again, that will then now involve a micro, which is going to be a powertrain again. So there's always some design considerations one way or the other. In terms of production, I've never tried to produce this. It has to be produced in mass scale for it to be, economic. I'm not going to try to produce it. I don't have the capital, the marketing, or anything else. I'm not going to try competing with the Chinese. If you try to do any of these things and you come out and the Chinese see it, they're going to do 10 times cheaper. And basically, you have to go China anyway. And if it even makes any sense, they're just going to copy it and do it faster and cheaper than you. So it doesn't make sense to me. It wasn't a commercially viable product. It was useful to me at the time where I was living. And I'm putting it out there. If anyone wants to build it in an area they live and it could be useful to them, that's great. To acknowledge the source, please, but it's out there in the public domain now. No market research was done for this. Nothing was done in terms of, as I said, I never intended to, in fact, market this. And this concludes the part of the presentation that was given to NIHERST, right, at the time when this, the date and the aforementioned date. This is a picture of the internals, the box with it's a 2x4 electrical box with a small lead acid battery and oscillator circuit. This is a picture of it where it was stuffed up to try to keep all the tabs from moving across. I don't really like hot glue, so yeah, I just use foamed up the entire box. A side view where you have the plug, it folds in and you flip it out and you plug it into a regular outlet and it charges. Again, I'm in a 120 volt country, so yeah, that's the kind of plugs you'll see here. This is an internal view of the device where you have the rails run across the bottom, and then we have the spacers fit, and then of course there's a top piece fitting over, and then this is a view of the entire thing, which is a picture I had in the beginning, but you probably couldn't see that very well. And that's pretty much how it looks. I expect that what you do is use some double-sided tape along the entire piece to stick it, or better yet, some silicone, run a bead of silicone or 2 beads, stick it down so it seals off the bottom and provides no access to the insect below, so the insect is pretty much forced to go up and through this, and it will pass between those two lines and essentially get zapped, as we saw. It works really well. As we saw in the video, it dissuaded the centipede. He was forced a bit to come back and convinced to try going through, but he didn't make it through. He didn't make it through, and he was pushed away. And that's what is really you're trying to do here. You're trying to get either kill them or get them to avoid coming into your residence, into your home. As I said before, this is extremely useful to people who live in areas where it isn't as developed, where there's a lot of creatures, there are a lot of these insects. They crawl, they come in, and they do bite you, and it is a serious problem. As much as the initial video seems a little light, it is a serious problem.